Thanks again for joining us and listening to Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theater. And I am so excited to be here. I am literally surrounded by professors from College of the Holy Cross today. And we're here to talk about a program that's going to be happening as part of our Access Hanover Lyceum Series. So today I'd like to welcome Professor Lynn Kremer, and then also Dr. Bandem and Dr. Suasthi Bandem. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So this is so intriguing. The Dr. Bandems are both from Bali, which I find fascinating right there. And I heard before we started this program that they love Worcester. So let's just jump in right there. Dr. Bandem, what do you love about Worcester?
Well, I live here for 7 years already. The museum here, Worcester Museum, is very wonderful.
Oh, it is.
And many, of course, parks around, And I saw also lots of parades, during the holidays here in Worcester. It's great. Of course, there are many universities and schools here in Worcester.
Absolutely.
16 to 17 colleges here, amazing me, about this great small city, but it's a great university and school. This is like an education city, education and culture city of Worcester.
It is.
Yes, I love lots about it.
So I just have to draw everybody's attention to, did you hear that? Our very international, shishi, sophisticated guests love Worcester for all the reasons that they just gave over the tropical environments. That makes me happy. So Professor Kremer, can you tell us a little bit about what you do at the College of the Holy Cross and how we become fortunate enough to have the two doctors here with us?
Yeah, I teach theater in the theater department at Holy Cross, and I've always been interested in how to get actors to use their bodies better. So when I had a sabbatical, I decided I would go to Indonesia and work with puppets and masks in different forms. And that very first trip that I made, I met both Pak Bandem and Bu Suasthi Bandem. And at that time, they were very involved in their own campuses, and Pak Bandem was actually the rector, which is like the president of the main performing arts school. So you would think of it as like the equivalent of Juilliard.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he was involved later over in Java at the similar campus, but in Java. And so there was no opportunity to really have them come. But in the back of my mind, I was always kind of plotting and thinking how great it would be to have the Bandems at Holy Cross.
Wow.
In the meanwhile, we were fortunate to work with the music department and get a whole gamelan orchestra, which is a series of tuned metal flutes that were made in Bali expressly for Holy Cross.
Wow.
And bring lots of costumes and things so students in the theater program could be learning dance, how to use their bodies better. I train along with them sometimes because I still like to learn myself. And when we have these great guest artists on our campus, how can you not take advantage of them, right?
Seriously, how cool is that? And what a great job you have over there.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I bet. It sounds pretty fun. So tell us a little bit more about the Bandems here.
Yeah, well, Suasthi, as she mentioned, is a really wonderful choreographer, but she didn't mention that she's also a beautiful costume designer.
Ooh.
And one of her pieces, Cendrawasih, has danced all over the island and is a really popular form. It's a very challenging piece musically, so we haven't necessarily been able to do the best justice to it on our campus, but we hope to get better.
Well, there's always room for improvement, onward and upward.
Yeah.
So tell us, Dr. Bandem, what made you decide that it would be a good idea to leave beautiful tropical Bali and come here to New England where the winters are cold?
Well, for me, it's a very good opportunity for me to share my knowledge, with the student at the College of the Holy Cross.
I'm sorry, what was that? It's okay. This is
Yes.
pre-recorded, so
Yeah.
I didn't understand what you said. Do you mind just repeating that? For you, it was...
Yeah, it was a good opportunity for me, to be here to share my knowledge with the student from the College of the Holy Cross.
It's so great that you two came as a package deal,
Sure,
too.
Every semester we have lots of students learning Balinese gamelan, Balinese musical orchestra, the dance as well.
Wow. And so do you guys have a student performance as well?
Yeah, every semester, at the end of the classes, we have a concert, Balinese gamelan and music concert. So we usually perform numbers of dances and musical repertoires, and lots of people come and see our performance.
That is so
At least
cool.
every concert we have about 350 audience coming to see our concerts. You know,
I am picturing something so colorful and so vibrant and so motivational with lots of rhythm. Am I imagining the right thing?
that's right. You know, the
Yeah.
Balinese gamelan, the Balinese music. I and Ibu Swasthi and Ibu Lynn also maybe like to sing some of the song.
Oh.
You know, when we have any programs here in Worcester, we would like to do a sample of a chanting called Kecha.
Oh.
This is like a monkey chanting, and Ibu Lynn maybe knows more about this too, because the monkey chanting is a chorus performed by hundreds of male dancers, sit down on the ground, and then they're singing the Balinese song, a melody, and they're doing a rhythm called kecha. So this rhythm is very complicated rhythm. There are different groups also performing with this different kind of style of rhythm they play in one song. Because of Balinese gamelan, the Balinese music based on melodic cycles. Take for example, we have a gamelan with a scale called pelog. Ding dong dang dong dang. The singing will be like dang ding dong dang dong dang ding dong dang ding dong dang dong dang ding dong dang. In the kecha, within this melody, we can make an interlocking figuration. You're giving a rhythm, like a drumming rhythm or like a voice rhythm, and one rhythm can be, said like cha 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 cha. Another rhythm can be cha 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 cha, and then cha 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 cha. Very simple rhythm can be only a beat cha 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 cha. It's like that.
And so that all goes together. People are
Yes,
doing
that's
that
right,
all
that's
in
right.
unison at
Yeah,
different times.
and
Oh, I'm
you-
getting excited just thinking
That's
about
right.
it.
We're going to
Let-
do this at
let-
Hanover with the
Yeah.
audience. Actually,
Really?
we're going to
Yeah.
teach the audience the parts and then let everybody participate.
Let's do something here, three of us, right?
okay.
So let me start
Timekeep?
with
Want me to be timekeeper?
yeah,
Or-
you will be sirbo 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 sirja
how fun is that?
Configuration, and then a lot of convulsive movement also, because in doing this kind of chanting you do a very convulsive movement and tense movement, and sometimes part of the dancers, the players will be in trance.
Wow.
We don't think people at Hanover will probably go into trance.
But
Oh, you never know.
You never know. You never know.
Oh, that is so fun. So take us through what people can expect. And this is such a really great interactive series event for our Access Hanover Lyceum Series. And just for those of you who don't know, this series is free for the Hanover Theater members. It's also free for our partners members. And it's just $10 for the general public to come. And I can already tell, for all of you listening, maybe you're already smiling just listening, but certainly here in the studio, we're all grinning ear to ear with that short little burst.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
we're going to do a number of things. We're going to start off by talking a little bit about Bali and Balinese culture and how integral the arts are to the Hinduism of the main religion of the island of Bali.
Can we talk about that just a little bit? Because I'm a firm believer that art and literature is part of all of our culture through the ages, right? So tell me a little bit. Actually, we're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about the arts and cultures. Thanks again for listening, and welcome back as the conversation continues with our room full of professors from College of the Holy Cross, and we are talking about Balinese dance today. So, Professor Kremer, you were about to say...
Yeah, I think one of the things the listeners might find interesting is that there was no word for art in traditional Balinese language until more recently, because all the arts were done as offerings to the gods. So whether you were a dancer, a musician, you made the offerings that are part of a ceremony, or you participate to help make the ceremony go smoothly, all of those things were done as offerings. And that's in part why Balinese dance and music is still a really integral part of not only Balinese culture, but also in the religious ceremonies So in any Hindu temple ceremony, they will have a series of performances that would be a part of making that a successful event.
That is fascinating. And we were talking a little bit about the costumes and what some of those costumes were based on.
Yeah, well, Bu Swasthi can maybe tell you a little bit about her Chandrawasi costume that's based on a famous bird. Ibu?
Yes, I designed all the costume for my, the dance that I choreograph. Yeah, for example, like Ibu Professor Lynn Kremer said, the Chandrawasi, the bird of paradise. I designed the costume using the headdress, made of the leather that painted by the gold leaf, and then also make the wing, for the dance, as a part of the costumes. Yeah.
And those costumes have become so kind of popular that now you'll see other costumers using that basic shape for other bird dances because they're spectacularly beautiful.
Well, I could tell even by the way you're describing it, because I can tell there's movement in the way that you've designed them. Just as she started to bring her arms up to explain the wings and the leather, I'm like, ooh, I bet that looks magnificent.
Yeah. Well, Balinese dance is very unique in nature. The dance is emphasizing on facial expression.
Oh.
Actually, lots of eyes movement, facial movement, and then the flicking, right and left, with different expression, love expression, sad expression, and then a happy expression, and also the movement are based also on the Balinese Hindu temple, the Javanese Hindu temple. The knees turn out, even though you walk and doing demi-plie, doing standing position, they always knees turn out. Even though you're walking also side to side, and the knees turn out. And when you're doing this kind of dancing in Bali, classical dancing in particular, you are not only doing a movement in the dancing, but characterization of the dance based also on voice.
Wow.
Voice is very important. In Indonesia, we speak Indonesian language. In Bali, we speak Balinese language. But in the Balinese theater, we speak in Old Javanese and based on Sanskrit. Many audience in Bali do not understand about the word, the meaning of the word in Sanskrit, but they know the characters of the voice. Take, for example, I'm going to talk about, this is a voice of strong characters from a play called Ramayana, for example, And then the giant talk will be with loud, staccato in tempo, and very, like a screaming type of voice they use in the Balinese dancing. This is the way the Balinese dance speak and for strong characters and demonic characters. Delang, tuan delang. This is the voice of a strong characters and demonic characters. In contrary, you will find in the dance drama also like refined characters. A king, for example, he will speak in a high falsetto voice, monotone in styles like this. Aduh, lah ya paman, jununaning pariatna, iriku. This type of voice, so discern between strong and refined characters. This is unique in a way for the Balinese dance.
I find this all very fascinating, and I can imagine how your students must react to this.
I was going to say, now
Tell
you can
us.
understand why it's an important part of our theater curriculum to have these Balinese artists in residence.
Oh, absolutely.
Because students become much more disciplined in thinking about, what are their fingers doing at any given moment? What are their eyes doing? Where are their feet? And it doesn't matter. So if they're performing Shakespeare, for example, they start to think, oh yeah, now how's that character going to develop? What is the vocal placement going to be? Is it refined? Is it going to be more legato? Is it going to be more staccato? So that they are now equipped to make really better choices as actors across genres.
Oh, I
so it's
bet.
not only that they're learning Balinese dance from the best Balinese dance and musicians that the island has to offer, they also can transcend that and move it into their own work in contemporary American theater or in, more classical Western theater.
What a fabulous program. Are there any other colleges that offer this?
Yes and no. I guess there
Not in
are
this area, for
not
sure.
in this area. No, I mean there are other institutions that have gamelan orchestras on their campus. MIT has one.
Bard's College.
Bard College has one, and also Swarthmore. The thing that makes our program unique is that none of them have Balinese artists in residence full time on their campus, working in the trenches every day with the students.
I am so impressed by this program that your school is offering. It is blowing my mind, actually. It really is. And we were talking a little bit, you've been with College of the Holy Cross since what? You said 1982?
83, but we should
83.
maybe whisper. I don't want anybody to think I'm that old.
No, you're not that old at all. So you must have seen so many different changes, and I can only imagine that your students must absolutely love this particular course of study. But what are some of the other big changes that you are very excited about?
I would like to actually add, last year, one of the things that we did is we had developed a new piece at Holy Cross called Shackled Spirits, which was based on mental illness. And Pak Ni Luh Bandem connected us with a visual artist whose work I had always adored, whose name is Made Bandem. And we were able to bring Wianta then to our campus as well.
Wow.
And I think we probably had more Balinese living in Worcester than probably any
Yes,
other
in many
city.
places, yeah.
And then after we did the work here at Holy Cross and got it developed, we took it last summer to the Bali Arts Festival.
Wow.
And there we were able to work with the professional artists from the campus where Pak and Ibu have worked for most of their careers. And it was an amazing experience for our students
Oh, I bet.
to work with these tremendously talented Balinese musicians and dancers.
I
think we
bet.
had a great success performances in Bali for this Bali Arts Festival with the Shackle Spirit play that Ibu Lynn was creating it. I and Ni Luh Suasthi together co-directing this play. Balinese people really hilarious to see that play in Bali. A
Right.
combination between a Western artist and Western actor and the Balinese dancers and musicians.
It's
it was
amazing.
a great play.
What keeps coming through to me too is there's so much joy in this room right now.
Yeah.
And that just has got to translate into so much success for your programs and a really great evening at the Hanover Theater when you all come here for our Access Hanover Lyceum Series. And again, that's going to be on Wednesday, October 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30. It's going to be a very cool, intimate setting where we're all up on the stage with you. Did you know that?
Oh, that's great.
Right.
That's perfect.
Right. So, when we're doing the monkey chants, we're going to be right there with you.
Yes, all right.
That's exactly
You can support
how
you.
we like it.
So, if I know we have some information on our website, which is thehanovertheater.org. We have a little description about each of you. We have a little description about this Access Hanover Lyceum Series event. You can buy your tickets, or of course, you can come to the theater with your membership card. Any particular sources you would recommend that people look at before that evening if they want to really prepare or get some good previews?
Well, certainly there are things online. I mean, you can kind of go to YouTube and get clips of all sorts of things, and you would be able to watch a piece of ketchup, for example.
And also the Chandrawasih dance.
And you
you
can
can see from the
Swasthi's
YouTube.
dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we
what
also want to say kids can come.
Yeah,
we would
good
be
idea.
really
Yeah, we can
happy
do chanting.
to have young people in the audience because the chanting is all done in nonsense syllables and things, and all the kids can just participate right alongside their parents.
And they have fewer inhibitions.
Yep. Well, and that's how people in Bali
Yeah.
learn. I mean, you see musicians with their babies sitting on their laps, and they're playing really big, almost on top of the child, not on top of the child, but around the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you infuse that energy and all of the work that you want your child to be able to do well later by having them see it from the time they're just infants.
Very communal theater in this way, People participate, even though an audience sitting down around, and when they see the catch-up performing and they involved in performing too, everybody can take part. A very high participation, not only the actor, the dancer to perform on the stage, but people who sit down around to watch the play with the children, they can get together. They can play together. Very communal in nature.
I love it. And
Participation.
it seems like the definition of enthusiasm, really. When you think about it, being infused with the spirit, this is all coming from the gift of. I think it's just phenomenal. I really do. Anything else you want to make sure people know before the event?
Maybe dress comfortably.
I was gonna
would say
ask.
pants would probably be good for the women so that you can
Sit
sit
down
on the
and sit-
floor. Yeah, so you
Yoga
can sit on
pants,
the
even
floor.
perhaps. How about for their feet?
I will probably have you take your shoes off.
Okay,
Yeah.
so be
Everybody will be
prepared,
barefoot.
people. Be prepared. You're going to have to take your shoes off.
That's right.
That's not required, though, right?
No.
No.
Okay, and if people don't feel comfortable participating, you still welcome them to observe?
Yes, absolutely. People are welcome to observe, no problem.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, we're running out of time here. It's gone so quickly. I've thoroughly enjoyed speaking with all of you. Thank you all so much for coming onto the program. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Hanover Theater Wednesday, October 23rd. Again, that's 5:30 to 7:30. And we're going to be learning about the intricacies of Balinese music and dance by the world experts. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. Again, it's thehanovertheater.org. And we will see you all at the theater.